Hello, Martha here, coming with you to join you today with another fall project. Instead of pumpkins, I'm going to do an apple. And what I did was I made an apple template, used carbon paper and traced it on here. And I just hand wrote that. You can probably tell it's not as neat as the rest of it, but I will leave you a template in the description if you would like to have it and make your own project. Use it for a coloring page or mixed media or collage, whatever you would like to do, or paint, color, whatever. So I'm going to leave you a template for you to enjoy for yourself or your children, grandkids, whatever. Or if you're like me, when I color, I prefer to color children's coloring books than adults because they're too detailed and tedious to me. So I prefer big things to color. Drink a coffee, hopefully not slurping too much. But anyway, I picked out some Posca pens and some Faber Castell artist pens. I'm sorry if you can hear the lawnmower and stuff in the background, or weed eater, whatever it is. I just sat down to turn this on, and here they are getting close to my apartment again. But hopefully I can drown it out with some music or something, and maybe they'll quit while I'm working here. But anyway, I thought I'd start out with some Faber Castell. I guess I will start out with my apple. And I'm going to use some of this India red on here to color around the edges, to make it the dark parts and the shadows. And so I'm gonna just come around this apple, give it a little more shadow since it's overlapping there. So I've been having some fun making these templates. Finally, after having it for several years, learning how to use Procreate a little better. So what I do is I hand draw or sketch out something, and then I go into Procreate to make it neater and more, I don't know, what's the word? Refined, I guess. Okay, now I'm gonna go before this. Oh, that's magenta. I think I should go in there with some red first. Try to get this before it dries. Looking pretty good, I guess, there. Might have to use some regular acrylic paint too with a brush. Just wanted to come today with another Faber Castell drawing. I'm sorry this makes a lot of noise on this wood. Well, it probably would on a sheet of paper too. But probably not quite so loud. Okay. I think I'm gonna try to make my highlight over here on this left side. Going to be a voiceover because I got carried away with my coloring and I kind of got, you'll see later on, I got lost in the painting process because I did add some acrylic paint with a brush near the end. But what I'm doing here is I used my India red for the dark around the edges and for the shadows on my apples. Then I went in with a couple of different reds, and I also went in with a magenta, and I kind of blended it all together. And then I also did some oranges and yellows near the highlight, so that and I even added a little bit of white closer to the end, but mostly it's yellow and oranges doing the highlights. So I will stop here for now, and then I will start talking later on. that I am coloring in my leaf, and I'm just kind of feeling out how I wanted to do it. I wanted to add a little paint, but it wasn't showing up as well as I want. And I got it a little dark, which was kind of okay until I started adding the green paint, which you'll see in a little bit. But the green paint, I kind of got it too dark to start with, and it was all kind of blended in together. So I was kind of having a hard time with my leaf, trying to get it to look the way I wanted it to, especially when I started adding the paint. So you will see that in a little bit here when I get further along in the video. Here you'll also see me coloring in the meat of the apple, or the cut slice. And I had a little bit of hard time with that because I don't do too well with the light colors on the Faber Castell brush pens. I just don't, I don't know, I just have a harder time with them than I do the darker ones. But I wound up going in later with some white paint to kind of lighten it up. And I was also having a hard time with the little dip where the core is, like where the seeds are. It wasn't coming out the right color, but I finally just kind of gave up later on in the video. I kind of wanted it to be a little yellow and a little brown, but I didn't want it to be too dark, and I just kept trying to fix it. And here you'll see, here I'm trying to add some green paint. I wanted like a variegated background with like a dark edges with a kind of blended out. And I did achieve that later, but I used black to do so. And so you see my apple core there. I did add some white. I also went back in my leaf. I repainted it, went over it with some white and some yellow and lighter greens. And I finally did get everything pretty satisfactory at the end, because it looked better with the black and green than it did like the dark green and the lighter green. And I kind of just smudged that out. So you'll see here where that I got my green paint around my apple a little too dark, and so that's why my leaf didn't stand out enough to suit me. So I had to go back in, and I kept playing with it until I got the leaf lighter, and I got the dark around the edges darker, and then around the leaf was light enough to suit me. So, but I had to just keep playing with it, and I guess that's what you do when you're painting, just to get things to look right. I probably would do better if I had painted the background first, at least a light layer, and that way I would have been able to tell how dark I wanted my leaf to begin with. But this was a little bit challenging for me, even though it was a little small. But it was a good experience, and I'm not really happy that it looks a little too cartoony for me, but, you know, that's kind of the way it comes out sometimes when you're using the Faber-Castell artist brush pens. When you're just starting out with them, maybe if you were finishing with them like over acrylic paint, which I do quite a bit, it doesn't quite look so cartoony. Cartoony. So I think I will do better with them as I keep practicing and learning with them. I really do love them. So I'm happy with this piece overall. And the wording, Apple Time, I got the green background so dark that it just wasn't showing up to suit me, so I went in there with some red, and I liked that a lot better. It was outlined in black, and the letters were red, so I was satisfied with that. So here you'll see me playing with the leaf again. I'm still not happy. I just painted over everything I'd already done in yellows, made it look lighter green. And so if you just watch from here on out, you will see what I did. I just kept playing until I was satisfied. And sometimes you just gotta give up until the next time. And the more you do things, the better you'll get, and the more you'll be able to figure things out. But thank you for watching, and I will leave you here. And I hope you will like my video and share it, and especially I hope you will subscribe. Thank you very much.